Today we're diving into something players have been begging for without saying it out loud, a mechanic that might finally make combat feel fresh again. The new tune system isn't just another layer of numbers hidden under your damage. It raises a simple but important question. Can this mechanic genuinely shake up how we approach fights, or is it just another feature we'll forget exists after a week? And even more importantly, is this the universal answer negative status failed to be? Yo! Welcome back to the channel. Kamusta sa inyong lahat? Version 3.0 is right around the corner. Lene and Mornier are coming out strong as potential support units for this new combat gimmick. This is why you need to get started saving up for version 3.0. Loot Bar is currently offering a massive Black Friday sale from November 25th to December 1 to everyone. Tap my link to avail of massive discounts of up to an additional 10% on top of all other offers. Talk about effect stacking and doubling your Loot Bar points. Yeah, don't miss out and join in on the celebrations. Loot Bar is trusted by the gaming community with high Trustpilot scores. Their DIY mobile top-up ensures you get these discounts without giving away your password. So yeah, check it out and click the link in my description and pinned comments. Now, back to the video. Here's the idea. Every attack you land builds up off-tune on enemies, like you're slowly tightening a loose screw and waiting for the moment it finally gives way. Small enemies barely do more than flinch under the extra damage, popping just as quickly as they always have. The gameplay barely shifts with them, and honestly, that's expected, because they were never the real test anyway. The real question is whether this mechanic can revive that feeling of deliberate control and thoughtful timing during the fights that actually matter. Bigger enemies, though, that's a different story. When elites and bosses max out their tune level, you get access to a tune break skill. Think of it as an interrupt button that hits hard, trims down vibration strength, and tells annoying bosses to sit down for a moment. Something like the Sentry construct, which usually spends half the fight sprinting around like it drank 6 coffees, suddenly becomes a lot more manageable. Time a tune break right when it's about to start one of its dramatic, over-the-top attacks, and you can forcibly cancel it. Free damage, stability reduction, and peace of mind. Honestly, a win. But here's where tune break actually gets interesting. Negative status wanted to be a universal mechanic, but ended up being a private club for specific characters. Tune break, by comparison, looks like it actually understands the assignment. The early previews show Yang Yang triggering tune break, which immediately tells us this isn't a mechanic tied to rarities, roles, or kits. It's universal in the way negative status wanted to be, but never managed. This means every team can play with the mechanic. Every character contributes. Every composition gains access to the same fundamental system. Now, will certain characters inevitably become specialists at building or abusing tune break? Absolutely. It's Kuro. They can't resist making archetypes. But the base mechanic being accessible to everyone already makes it healthier than negative status ever managed. And here's something I find extremely interesting. The tune system gives Kuro a sneaky, flexible way to buff older characters without rewriting their kits. Say a character like Xing Liao hasn't kept up with the newer cast. Instead of giving him a complicated rework, they could just make him really good at applying off-tune. Suddenly, he contributes heavily to fast tune breaks, which, if tuned properly, could deal meaningful damage or enable strong interrupts. Boom! Older unit refreshed without power creeping the roster. We still don't know how tune break scales. It might pull from character stats, or it might end up being a flat value that keeps things predictable. It might even get shaped by passives or talents in ways that allow certain characters to lean harder into it than others. It's too early to make any confident claims about the numbers, but the framework alone suggests that Kuro is finally trying to smooth out the power gaps between older units and the upcoming 3.0 roster. It feels like they're laying the groundwork for a system that supports everyone instead of just the newest toys. Remember how Nightmare Echoes back in 2.0 quietly breathed life into older characters instead of just boosting the shiny new releases? That same philosophy is baked into this system, but this time it feels even more intentional. Tune break doesn't just hand older units a participation trophy, it actually gives them a meaningful role in modern combat. It's like Kuro finally realized players don't want their favorite characters shelved just because the meta moved on. At the same time, newer units still get room to show off their fancy mechanics without stepping on anyone's toes, creating a balance that feels smoother, more natural, and way less like forced synergy for the sake of hype. Now, let's talk about something players constantly worry about whenever a new combat mechanic drops. Will this matter in actual gameplay? Will this spice up the moment-to-moment experience or disappear behind the pace of current rotations? In modes like Wuthering Waves, where mobs evaporate on sight, Toon Break probably won't make combat dramatically more interesting. Enemies don't live long enough to make tension-building mechanics shine. You're not going to fully appreciate combat depth when everything dies before off-tune even registers. That doesn't mean the mechanic itself is bad, it just means the game mode isn't built for it. Wuthering Waves is still going to be the land of speedruns and one rotation clears, and Toon Break isn't likely to change that unless Kuro redesigns enemy pacing. It may only matter if you specifically build a team laser-focused on applying Toon as fast as possible. And even then, the benefit might be pretty small. Tower, on the other hand, completely different story. It might actually become interesting again because of Toon Break. This is where enemies finally live long enough for mechanics to stretch their legs a little bit, where interrupts stop being accidental blessings and start feeling like intentional choices, and where the pressure you build through repeated hits leads to a payoff you can actually feel. The universality of Toon Break means every team suddenly has a say in boss behavior, giving players a kind of agency they've been wishing they had for ages. It adds a layer of interaction that goes beyond watching numbers go up, and that alone already pushes combat towards something more alive and engaging. The only real variable is animation time. If the timer keeps running during Toon Break, players will hate it. If the timer freezes, it becomes a powerful moment of control. The mechanic's success hinges on this. Still, there's a lot of room for Kuro to evolve encounters around Toon Break. Tower modifiers could revolve around it, enemies might be designed to encourage it, boss patterns might become more responsive to it. For the first time in a while, Tower could feel less like a DPS race and more like a fight with actual tactical decisions. So here's the bottom line. Toon Break doesn't just outclass negative status, it actually feels like a system that was designed with players in mind. It comes across as universal in the best way, something that can plug into almost any kit without feeling awkward or gimmicky. It has the kind of flexibility that lets it grow over time, boosting older units that desperately need love, while still carving out space for entirely new archetypes to flourish. It's not going to suddenly reinvent Wuthering Waves, but the Tower? That mode could evolve into something genuinely fresh if Toon Break becomes a core part of its identity. If this video resonated with you, you know what to do. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to ring the bell for a free sandwich and massive gacha luck in 3.0. Thank you so much for watching, maraming salamat po, and I'll see you on the next video drop. Goodbye.